Hello there folks, so this is a video response to Oxford Paranormal UK and Scary Larry. Both of them have posted videos in the last couple of months, great videos on the topic of paranormal forums. Now, first of all I want to mention I don't use the Facebook forums, I use the old style BBS forums. And it's just a bad state of affairs these days. I remember going back to 2005, I was 15 at the time and I joined my first forum. I used to love browsing it. And I remember posting my very first EVP there, getting some fantastic feedback from people who were genuine paranormal researchers. And it was a very warm, loving community that, always welcomed people with open arms. And it still welcomes people with open arms today, but the landscape has changed so much. It's not as warm and friendly as it used to be. And even if you have something genuine that you decide to post on the forums, 9 times out of 10 you'll probably leave that place thinking, you know what, I really should have just kept it to myself. I don't think it helps these days that we have a community that seems to have been built up from people who watch a lot of these ghost hunting shows on TV, and as a result so many people are jumping to conclusions about some of the stuff they're finding. One of the problems is a lot of these ghost hunting shows are definitely missing a very important element, and that is the element of debunking. If you were to have a portion of the show where you were debunking some of the stuff that you found, I definitely think this would be something great from the perspective of, balancing things out. However, the sad truth is a lot of these TV shows aren't going to do that, because if you spend a portion of your time debunking stuff, it's probably going to lose you ratings. It's going to be the part of the show where people decide to turn off. A lot of them really want to tune into these shows from the shock factor and to see what they find. But I think obviously it also doesn't help with so many people posting, pictures and videos of orbs and etc. But I also get very frustrated at a lot of these people that are senior forum members. The reason for this is very simple. Yes, I understand that they get really frustrated with people posting the pointless stuff, but at the same point you have to understand that you are, well, let me say this as well, another thing that they seem to get frustrated at is the lack of context that's sometimes given when people are retelling their experiences. But I think sometimes they lose track of who exactly they're talking to. You're not always going to get the person who's got a good grip of giving details when telling a story. You're not always going to get the ex-army guy who can give you the precise detail down to what shade the sky was at the time. You're dealing with members of the public with various backgrounds, age, ability and levels of experience. Some of these folks really need to tread lightly with people, and I don't think enough is being done on forums to help this situation. Let's face it, if you have something unusual going on in your house and it's causing you confusion, it's causing you concern, you may not always tell the best side of the story with the best level of detail when fear and other emotions are involved. The lack of empathy and understanding from some of these members, to me, is very disturbing at times. You're dealing with the public, yet you don't have any of the skills to deal with it. So for the past few years, down to these kind of things going on, I've mainly been lurking, and I've had very little inclination to post or read posts from other people. These days, this is how bad it is. I spend most of my time reading the off-topic bizarre news section. It's bad news that you have a paranormal forum and you aren't even going there to discuss the topic that you have a passion for, just because of how bad you feel by the time you get off there. To give you guys a little bit of an example of the sort of thing that I'm talking about, roughly around 5 months ago now, I remember looking through some of the recent posts, and there was a gentleman, we won't mention his real name, we'll call him Marky for this example. So Marky's posted on the forum because he's had something go on in his house for a few months, where he and several other members of his family have been hearing the voice of a deceased relative. Now, it was the voice of his grandfather who passed 4 or 5 years previous, and really he's unsure what to make of the situation. So he's gone to the forum for a bit of advice. This guy was getting really frustrated, and I really can't blame him, because most of the members there, instead of having that little bit of thought that says, well, this must be quite a concerning thing that's happening to him, the majority of the members were actually just having a laugh at his username because he had the same username as a cartoon character that some of them grew up watching. It wasn't just one or two members, it was 4 or 5. So this has gone on for a couple of hours. I can see how frustrated he's getting. Luckily a couple of other people jumped in, but even the answers that they gave him weren't too great. 2 of them were just, instead of turning around and saying, look, this could be something caused by sleep deprivation, instead of giving him a bit of a rundown of the sleep deprivation scenario and what happens, this, that and the other, they just used 2 words, sleep deprivation. That was the entire post. Someone else comes up, oh, it's pareidolia, that's it. Someone else comes over, auditory hallucination. Instead of giving him a rundown of what causes it, how it can be treated, who he can go and see if he needs to find out if this is the case. So by this point I decide to chip in, because when I see a situation like this, if I can have something that could be a valid point to say, I'll chip in. In this case I was mainly posting because I was a little bit annoyed at the way some of the members have treated him. So I apologised on behalf of some of the other members. I said, I don't think they intended to cause you offence, but I'll apologise for them anyway. And they're probably just having a bit of a laugh. I did say to him that there is a chance this could be sleep deprivation, it could be auditory hallucination. Rule out any avenues that could, the logical things that could be causing it before you jump to any paranormal conclusions. But I did also say this could be a legitimate thing that you're going through. I've had something similar. Not only have I heard things, at the time of hearing them, I've also caught them on recordings and haven't found, logical explanations for them. So of course I explored that avenue with him. He thanked me for my input, but by this point he was so, pissed off with the way that some of these people were treating him on the forum, he decided, you know what, fuck this, I'm not sticking around anymore, because I'm just going to be ridiculed. But this is the kind of thing that I'm on about. There's nothing wrong with people having a bit of a laugh, but a little bit of empathy goes a long way. Another thing that I want to add before I end this video, and this is a little bit of notice that goes out to pretty much anyone who's planning on posting their experiences onto forums. You are essentially entering the arena of human opinion, and you might not walk out there whole again. A lot of these people on the forums will, in their own self-confession, profess to be experts, and they might feel they're experts, but most often than not they aren't. So I'd found a new forum back in January. I found this new forum. I'd gone to post an experience of mine, but I'll leave that for now. And some guy about a week later posted a picture that's got all of these, these people who claim to be experts. They're all gushing over the photo. Basically what it is a photo of, it's a black and white photograph of a staircase with a cat on it and a white blur. Now, he basically posted this picture saying that he just took a quick snap on the stairs because you could see his cat interacting with something that he couldn't see. So basically, like I say, people are gushing about this photograph, and it's got to the point where some of the site's admins have basically said, look, we think this is a really intriguing ghost photograph. It's probably one of the most intriguing we've ever seen. We want to put it into our database of ghost pictures. So he agrees to it, and about a week later, the game's finally up. He comes out and he says, look, just to let you all know, this photograph is fake. Even though the experts have gushed over it and said, this is genuine, this is a genuine photograph. Basically what he'd done is he threw a towel off the top of his staircase and took a picture of it on the way down. The only reason why the cat's interacting with it is the cat's on its way to fleeing in terror. And of course it left all these so-called experts with egg on their face. It turns out he had done this on a number of forums over the period of a few weeks in an attempt to show people just how easy it is to fake a lot of these photographs that are coming out. So these are some of my experiences with forums, and it's the reason why I don't bother with them anymore. I just don't have the time for them. There's so much stress and frustration that they're not worth bothering with if you want to stay sane, really. So I hope I haven't rambled too long, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.